हरे कृष्णा। नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्ण प्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमद् भक्ति वेदांत स्वामिनिति नामिने नमस्ते सारस्वती देवी गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। मूकं करोति वाचालं पंगुं लंघयितुं गिरिं यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे परमानंदं माधवं श्री गुरु दीनतारिणे। So today I will take a topic that is types of bhakti in reference to Srimad Bhagavatam, 3rd canto, 29th chapter. So, bhakti. So, I will start with Chaitanya Charitamrita verse. कोटि कर्म निष्ठा मध्ये एक ज्ञानी श्रेष्ठ, कोटि ज्ञानी श्रेष्ठ मध्ये एक जन मुक्त. I will begin again. धर्मचारी मध्ये बहुत कर्म निष्ठ, कोटि कर्म निष्ठ मध्ये एक ज्ञानी श्रेष्ठ, कोटि ज्ञानी श्रेष्ठ मध्ये एक जन मुक्त, कोटि मुक्त जन मध्ये दुर्लभ एक कृष्ण भक्त. So Shri Chaitanya Charitamrita, it is mentioned that among crores and crores of people, among billions and billions of people, there are only few who are dharmic, who follow a religious life, well civilized religious life. And even among crores of koti dharma nishta, koti dharmachari, one who follows a religious life, even among them, there are few who are better. They are karma nishtha. Majority of the people are karma nishtha. So they're following varnashrama dharma. Okay, but there are also very few koti karma nishtha. And koti karma nishtha, among crores of people who are following karma nishtha life, karma nishtha religious life, following a varnashrama dharma, among them one will be eka jnani shrestha. Among them a jnani, one who is engaged in reading and studying scriptures, and most of the time, most probably they will reach to the impersonal conception of absolute truth. So they are better than the karma nishtha because they are leaving attachment to karma and they are going ahead. A life of detachment they are accepting. Even among them, koti jnani madhe eka jana mukta, one will be liberated. So only among billions and among lakhs and lakhs of or crores of jnani, one will be liberated from among them. And even among them, among all the liberated souls, among all the crores of liberated souls, there will be only rare to find that one there will be a Krishna Bhakta. A Bhakta, Bhakti. That's what Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, Bhakti Yoga, Bhakti Yoga, Bhakti Yoga Dhana, Bhakti Ai Krishna Nama Smarana Kandana. So the topmost treasure is Bhakti. So in spiritual life, there are different paths. There are a path of Karma Yoga, there is a path of Jnana Yoga, Dhyana Yoga. But among all of them, Bhakti Yoga is the topmost. And that's what Srila Prabhupada always gave importance to Bhakti Yoga. And from chapter 1 of Bhagavad Gita till chapter 18 of Bhagavad Gita, throughout the Bhagavatam, Srila Prabhupada always specifies the importance of Bhakti. And Bhakti is all inclusive. Bhakti is also working for Krishna, doing karma for Krishna. Bhakti is also gaining knowledge about Krishna. And Bhakti is also meditating on Krishna. So Bhakti is all inclusive. Like 500 rupee note also include 10 rupee note in that. Also include 5 rupee coin in that. Similarly, Bhakti includes karma also, jnana also, dhyan also. That's why Bhakti is topmost. And Bhagavad Gita, many times Krishna gives so many quotes. Bhaktyaham, bhaktya mam abhijananti. Only by bhakti one can know me. And bhaktyam ek grahyam. Only by devotion only one can know me. And man manabhava mad bhakta, become my devotee. So Lord Krishna and also says that only a bhakta can understand Bhagavad Gita and Bhagavatam like scriptures. Seva mayati yoga prokta puratana bhaktosi me sakhacheti. Only Arjun, because you can understand what I'm saying, because you are my devotee and my friend. So bhakti has a great importance. So with reference to this Srimad Bhagavatam third canto, today we are going to understand the types of bhakti. So what are the types of bhakti? So here we have already introduced the importance of bhakti in spiritual practice, and so there are even there are people who are not purified who take to devotion service with four purposes. What Srila Prabhupada mentioned this in the purport also, that there are with four purposes. Chaturvida bhajanti mam janasya kritino arjuna artha jignasu artharthi jnani cha bharatarshava. There are four kinds of people who take this path, and although they are not highly pious, although they are not very completely purified, but they are pious souls, sukritivan. So number one is artha, who is in distress. Number two is one who is in need of money, and number three is inquisitive, jigyasu, and number four is jnani. And teshan jnani nitya yukta eka bhakti. So among all of them, Lord Krishna considers the jnani as the topmost. So coming towards the types of bhakti topic. So the three types of bhakti. Number one, sattvika. Number two, rajasika. And number three, tamasika. So there are three modes of nature. This many a time this is repeated even in Bhagavad Gita, even Srimad Bhagavatam. So tribhir gunamayar bhavair evi sarvamidam jagat. The whole world is completely, the whole world is, you can divide everything. Any whatever it may be, yajna, it may be charity, it may be food, anything you can divide in three modes of nature. So similarly, a bhakti can also be divided in three modes of nature, three types of bhakti. That is sattvic, that is mode of goodness; rajasic, that is mode of passion; and tamasic, that is mode of ignorance. So sattvic, tatra sattvam nirmalatvat prakashakam anamayam. What is sattva gun? So where there is knowledge, enlightenment, there is peace of mind, happiness, that is tatra sattvam nirmalatvat prakashakam sukha sangena badanati. So he's bound by these qualities. That person is in mode of goodness. And what is rajasic? Rajasam salamadruvam, rajasa ragatmakam vidhi. One who has attachment for material sense gratification. And he has attachment for money, he has attachment for relatives, for family, and this, career, this and that. So that is called as rajasic. And the third is tamasic. Tamastam ajnanam vidhi mohanam sarvadehina. Nidra alasya paramadutam. So laziness, alasya, enviousness, anger. So these are the qualities of tamasic modes. Ajnana is in ignorance. Mohanam sarvadehina is in completely illusion. So considering dharma as adharma and adharma as dharma, that is the business of a tamasic person. So there are three kinds of three modes of nature: sattvic, rajasic, and tamasic. And above these, all the three modes, Lord Krishna always advised, yeah, one should be Arjun, you be above the three modes of nature. Traiguna Vishaya Guna, Traiguna Vishaya Veda, Nistraiguna Bhavarjuna. You be above the three modes of nature. So all the Vedas are talking, the subject matter of the Vedas are bound by these three qualities, that is three modes of nature, that is Sattvagun, Rajagun, and Tamagun. So similarly, your Bhakti. So we are here not classifying Bhakti, this differentiation is not in such a way that Bhakti is Sattvic or Bhakti is Rajasic or Bhakti is Tamasic. No. So Srila Prabhupada says that Bhakti doesn't become Sattvic, Rajasic or Tamasic, but the performer of Bhakti possesses such qualities. The performer who is performing this Bhakti is of which mode? That differentiates which type of Bhakti is doing. So there is a verse in Gita also. Yajanti satvika devan yaksha rakshansi rajasa preta bhuta ganashani yajanti tamasa janaha. So one who is worshipping demigods is in mode of goodness, and then one who is worshipping yaksha rakshasa, he's in the mode of passion, and then he's going preta bhuta, who is worshipping that then he is in mode of ignorance. So this classification of worship is also given in Bhagavad Gita. So based on the devotee's motivation, this classification, this differentiation is what sort of motivation a devotee has and an attitude towards devotional service. So the bhav, the action which one is performing, what is the mood behind that action? That differentiates the type of bhakti, what sort of type of bhakti is doing. So it depends on the different qualities of the performer. So coming towards the Satvika Bhakti. So what is actually Satvika Bhakti? So Bhakti in the mode of goodness. And this Satvik Bhakti mainly, the person who is doing this Bhakti is mainly concerned on his own purification and how he will attain mukti and attain spiritual knowledge. That is his main business. Obviously, it is self-centered, no doubt about it. But accepting transcendental life for his own purpose, to meet his own purpose, that is Satvik Bhakti. So in that Satvik Bhakti, one may offer here, one also can also offer, one is offering results of his activities in order to free himself from karma many times. And even Krishna advises in Bhagavad Gita, yat karoshi yad asnasi yad juhosi dadati yat tapasyasi tu kaunte tat kuru shamadarpanam. Whatever you do it for me, whether you eat, whether you do charity, etc., etc. So one may be attached to the karma, but still he's offering results. That can be included here in Satvik Bhakti. And also, worshipping Lord as a matter of duty. Although following all the rituals, although he may not have a spontaneous devotional attitude towards Lord, but he knows very well that this path is very important for me. That spiritual life is very important and I have to do. And this is the main goal of human life. Although I don't like, but still I will do it as a matter of duty. So one may not like it or one may not be fully passionate. Also, definitely one is not hating it, but he may not be very passionate or very spontaneous in serving Lord, but as a matter of duty, he is doing it. So that is also includes, this is symptom of, one of the symptom of Satvik Bhakti. And the main goal of doing Bhakti is not to just to serve Krishna, but the main goal is to attain liberation, is to liberate oneself from the shackles of birth and death, so that I will not suffer from any miseries and any threefold miseries. That is Adi Daivik, Adi Bhautik, and Adhyatmik Tap. So that is the main goal. So Karmarpanam with, and also they follow Varnashrama Dharma to Karmarpanam. So these are the symptoms of Satvik Bhakti. Then next, heading towards Rajasic Bhakti, a devotion in the mode of passion. So here is very, very clear. One is not after the Lord. He's after the things which we can get from the Lord. Okay. And this is majority of the people who are following Dharma in today's life. They are what? They are after the opulence. They are after enjoyment, sense enjoyment. They are after fame. They are after woman. And even for those needs, those luxuries, they are going towards, they are approaching Lord for that. And this kind of worship, this kind of bhakti is Rajasic. Desires for objects other than Lord. So one who has pure devotional service for Lord, definitely he will negate all the sense gratification. He will avoid fame. He will avoid opulence. He will avoid sense gratification. Na dhanam, na janam, na sundarim, na kavitam, na jagdisha kamaya. Mama janmani janmani ishwari bhautat bhakti rahe tu kitoi. That is the business of a pure devotional service one who is performing. But here Rajasic devotee, Rajasic bhakta, is mainly after sense gratification and of material opulence and after material objects. So a bhakta who is performing Rajasic bhakti, he's not after Lord, but he's after the opulence which he can get from the Lord by worshipping him. That is the best. So worship of deities in the temple by a separatist. So a separatist also means one who has a separate interest apart from the Lord. That's what Srila Prabhupada says one of his conversation also, that a separatist means one who has, it's a literal meaning of a dictionary meaning that is to be separate. He's separate from Lord. He has a separate interest from Lord. Okay. So with a motive of material enjoyment, fame, opulence. So he is seeking mercy from the Lord for what? Not to achieve Lord, but to achieve sense objects from the Lord. So material opulence, material enjoyment, this kind of. So next, the third is Tamasic Bhakti. Devotion in the mode of goodness, ignorance. So it's mode of ignorance. Tamastam ajnanam jam vidhi is a ajnana. And here, many times the intention of performing bhakti is enviousness, is violence, pride, anger, and there is no compassion at all. That's why there are many some uh, tantric vidhis wherein the sacrifice of even a man is done sometimes, and sometimes an innocent animal also done. So this kind of vidhis are tamasic, and devotional service executed by a person who is envious, proud, violent. Prabhupada writes in the purport that that devotional service which is executed by a person who is envious, proud, violent, and angry, and who is a separatist, one who has separate interest, separate motive. He don't have any interest in cooperating with the Lord's plan. Okay, he has a completely separate. He's a separatist, and is considered to be in the mode of darkness. That is tamoguna. That is tamasic bhakti. So we can have an example of a terrorist also, who are when someone asks a terrorist that why you are fighting, why you are exploding so many bombs, and why you are killing innocent person, they will say that this is I'm doing for my Lord. I'm doing for because this is my religion teaches me. Okay, so there is a term like jihadi. Okay, fighting for dharma in their own language, but actually killing so many innocent people. They are showing no mercy to any living entity. So, and they're using violence through by taking shelter of dharma. They are on the name of dharma. They are using violence on the name of bhakti, so-called bhakti. They are using violence and creating enmity between different people. And these terrorists are nothing but tamasic. They are in the mode of ignorance. And now, after classification, very important in Bhagavad Gita also says, what is the destination of these people? What is the destination? Sattva Guni? Tatra Sattva Nirmalatvat. One who is Nirmala, in Sattva Guna, who is doing Sattvic Bhakti. Urdhva Gachanti Sattvasya. He will go to higher planets. And Madhya Tishtanti Rajasa. One who is performing Rajasi, then they will be on the material planets. Madhyastha. And one who is performing Tamasic, Adho Gachanti Tamasa. They will go to lower planets. Hellish planets, you can say. So there are the three types of bhakti: sattvic bhakti, rajasic bhakti, and tamasic bhakti. Very important advice given by Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur. And this advice is quoted by Srila Prabhupada in one of his purport of this chapter. So Vaishnava who is not, so Bhakta, a devotee of Supreme Lord Krishna or Vishnu, who is a Vaishnava, who is proclaiming himself as Vaishnava, but who is not of a good character, should be avoided. Even among Vaishnavas, we have to differentiate sometimes. And Vaishnava is one who has taken the Supreme Personality of Godhead as the ultimate goal of life. And Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, even once who chants the holy name of the Lord, he is also Vaishnava. So, but if one is not pure, that is very important. If one is not pure and still has motives, so purity can be used in different contexts. Srila Prabhupada says one who is following 4 regulatory principles and chanting the holy name of the chanting 16 rounds and reading Srimad Bhagavatam or hearing it, whatever. So taking association devotees, he is also pure. And one is pure, one who has control all the senses, or who is a Goswami. Vacho vegam, manasa krodha vegam, jibha vegam, udarapasta. So he has control all the senses, genitals, tongue, anger, mind, all the urges of the mind, and etc. etc. Even he is also called pure. So the context is different. So here, but if one is not pure and still has motives, so what do you mean by this? That one is a separatist, who is a wearing a garb of a Vaishnava, but internal absorption is not there, and internally he is after some materialistic things, and he has some different motives. He has a separate plan. Okay, so then he is not actually a Vaishnava of the first order or a good character. Maybe he's wearing a tilak or kantimala or Vaishnava attire, but the absorption is missing. If it's not, he has no purity of thought and he has some other motives, then he is not a Vaishnava first order. And one may offer, but one can offer respect to such a Vaishnava because he has accepted the Supreme Lord as the ultimate goal of life. But one should not keep company with such a Vaishnava who is in the mode of ignorance. Very important. So we should offer obeisances. We should respect everyone as Amani Manindra Kirtana Sadahari. but we should not associate with such Vaishnava. So here in Updesh Amrit, there is very important words how to associate with devotees. कृष्णेति यस्य गिरितं मनसा द्रियत दीक्षस्य चेत प्रणतिभिश्च इजं शुश्रूषया भजनम अनन्यमस्य निंदादि शून्यम इप्सित संगलाभ्य. So one who chants the holy name of the Lord, one can pay obeisances in his mind, and one who is taken initiation from the spiritual master, he can pay practically. He can pay obeisances to that person by doing pranam or panchang pranam. And one who is shushushaya, one who can serve that person who is very advanced, who has completely surrendered towards Lord. But anannamasya, ananya bhakti karte hain jo. And finally, last is that one one who is free from criticizing anyone, nindadi shunyam. Okay, free can any contamination, one can associate with that Vaishnava. So this is the advice given by Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur. So heading towards the topmost bhakti, that is pure devotional service, above sattva, raja, tamaguna. This bhakti is the topmost, is Vishuddha Sattva. Okay, it's a Vasudev stage, that is Krishna conscious stage. So to act under the definition of here, this pure devotion services, to act under the direction of bona fide spiritual master with a motive to satisfy the supreme personality of Godhead, that is pure devotional service. So the main motive is very clear. Anya bhilashita shunyam. There is no other desire. Jnana, neither karma, anavritam. Jnana, karma, yoga, siddhi, we don't want anything. Anukulena Krishna Anushunilam Bhakti Uttama. That is the topmost bhakti. Only the purpose is to serve Lord for the pleasure of the Lord. And only by that bhakti one can become happy. That's what Srimad Bhagavatam talks. The first canto. Ahai tukiya pratihata yayatma suprasidati. Uninterrupted bhakti, unmotivated bhakti. That will make you happy always. So there is one shlok quoted in 3.29, 11-12 that Mad Guna Shruti Matrena Mai Sarva Guhashe Manogatir Avichanna Yatha Gangam Basombudav Lakshanam Bhakti Yogasya Nirgunasya Yaudharitam Ahaituki Avyavahita Ya Bhakti Hi Purushottame. So the manifestation of unadulterated devotional service, pure devotional service, is exhibited when one's mind is at once attracted to hearing the transcendental name and qualities of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is residing in everyone's heart. So one gets one immense attachment in hearing about Lord, in singing the glories of the Lord. That is a sign of pure devotional service. So it's like Mai Ananya Vishaya Ratim Udvahate Adha Gange Vagham Udanvati. In Kunti Maharini prays that Gange Vagham Udanvati, like a Ganges flows and without no hurdles, no barriers, directly flows into the ocean. Similarly, let my attraction flows into you. So just as the water of the Ganges flows naturally down towards the ocean, such devotional ecstasy, uninterrupted by any material condition, flows toward the Supreme Lord. That is the analogy also given here. So a pure devotional service, one who is practicing, even he never, what to talk about desiring for material objects or being envious, or these qualities are not absent completely, but also pure devotional service never ever desire, or a pure devotional devotee never desire even the liberation of any kind. So there are 4 kinds of liberation: Sarupya, Samipya, Sarshti, Salokya. So residing in the same planet where Lord resides, that is Salokya. Sarshti, sharing the opulence with the Lord. And Sarupya, having the same form of Vishnu which Lord has. And Samipya, being near to Lord. So even he don't desire. Gopi Bhartu Padakamalo Das 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 Anudas. His only desire is to serve the servant of the gopis. So the practical application here we are talking about here now, that is practicing the components of bhakti. So there should be some practical devotional service, and that includes components, angas, different angas of bhakti that will give rise to pure devotional service. So what will give rise to pure devotional service? Number foremost thing is chanting the holy name of the Lord. Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hearing about spiritual matters, hearing about Supreme Lord through Bhagavad, Srimad Bhagavatam and Bhagavad Gita like scriptures. Associating with the devotees, Sadhu Sangha, Sarva Shastra Kai, and seeing, touching, worshipping, praying, and offering obeisances to the deity. There are different factors which involves in the components of bhakti, but these are the very important, which I'm right now highlighted. And obviously, there are some obstacles in pure devotional service also in this bhakti, in this type of bhakti which is pure devotional service. And the main offense is that disregarding, hating, or criticizing other beings. It's very important. Okay. Offense towards Vaishnavas is a dangerous, that is a very dangerous obstacle. And also criticizing other beings or hating or disregarding. So one should have a Vasudev vision. Vasudev, like uh, Yomam Pashyati Sarvata Sarvam Chami Pashyati. One should be able to see, realize Krishna in everyone, everything. Okay. That is a pure devotional service vision, is like seeing everything Krishnamaya, or everything as related to the Lord Krishna. So um, here we conclude now. That is, a pure devotee has no interest but to act on the behalf of the Supreme Lord. Contrary to this, there are different types of bhakti. That is Sattvic Bhakti, who is only concerned about his own liberation and um, his own happiness, wherein and he wants to get liberated from the cycles of birth and death. That is his main business behind doing bhakti. Second is Rajasic Bhakti. In Rajasic Bhakti, a person never desires Lord. He desires things or objects which we can get from Lord. And Tamasic, which is full of, a person who is fully envious and using violence in the name of dharma, and uh, anger, and he's using all these things. Like I've given an example of terrorists also, who is using dharma for whimsically, and he has a separatist attitude, and he has no interest in cooperating with the plan of the Lord or the instructions of the Lord actually in reality. So that is tamasic bhakti. So above all this, the fourth, that is which I've highlighted, fourth type of bhakti, that is pure devotion service, which has no interest but to act on the behalf of the Supreme Lord. And all this bhakti, okay, one can be classified in any type of bhakti. It depends upon his interest, where his interest lies, and even a tinge of personal interest, then his devotion is mixed with three modes of material nature. There is no doubt about it. So pure devotion service has no selfish interest, no tinge of person interest. His only interest is to give pleasure to the Lord Krishna. So here we, I end this topic. Thank you so much. Srila Prabhupada ki Jai.